Hello, welcome to my studio. I am so glad you are here. I'm Julie Torrens, and we're going to be working on another accordion folding tag. So, what do I got on my desk? So I've got some ephemera. This is some ephemera I made, including some faux postage. I've got my little collection of words, and maybe we'll use all this, maybe we won't. I've got some rubber stamps. I've got some florals and some stamps that I think we're going to use for backgrounds. And then I stamped off some of the florals onto just a piece of plain old printer paper so that I can use them as masks. So I'll set those aside. I've got my permanent ink in the four colors. So this is the Tim Holtz Distress ink, but it is the permanent. It's more the Adirondack, not just the plain Distress that are water soluble. And this is four colors. So I have Hickory Smoke, Vintage Photo, Ground Espresso, and Black Soot. So some darker colors. I've got my gelatos. I thought we would play with gelatos today. They're a lot of fun. And then what I'm making this on is, oh, I'm bumping things. This is the new, to me, Amazon watercolor paper. This paper is 11 by 14. It is a watercolor paper, and I do have a review on it, and I've talked about it in other videos, but it's a great paper, and I enjoy it for this type of an application. $14 and I think 35 cents for 30 sheets at 11 by 14, and it's 140 pound. It's a cellulose watercolor paper, but I think it's great. So I'm not affiliated with Amazon. I don't have anything to do with them. It's just, I think it's a good paper at a good price. Okay, so I took one of those 11 by 14s and I cut it in half. So this is 5.5, and then I'm going to cut the 14. Well, I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to score it so that it creates the accordion. But I'm not going to score it right away. I'm going to first do the artwork on it, and then I'm going to score it. And I think we'll be fine to do it that way for this time. I do have my heat gun because we may need to do some drying. Got some watercolor brushes and some water, paper towels. I think I've told you everything that I've got ready. So paper plates, and here's how we're going to start. So first I want to start with a bit of a background, and I want to have it not shining up in your face. It's not the foreground, it's the background. So I'm going to pick a couple of colors of gelatos that I think will be fun, and I think that will do good in the background. Like I'm going to avoid the hot pink and this red barn red, and I'm just making up those colors. I don't know what colors these are called, but I'll let you know as we pull them up. I think this orange will be light enough. So, and this is the gelatos. It's a bright group. So let's see. This one's called mango. So I'm going to grab the mango. I'm going to grab the regular yellow. So this is called lemon. And then I want to grab some other color way. I'm pretty sure this sort of a pinkish color is not too dark. And this one's, it's lavender. So those are the colors we're going to start out with in the background, but we can always grab some more. And so the way I'm going to start with some of these florals. So I'm just going to put one of them on my acrylic block. And then I'm going to take a gelato. I've got two paper plates here. And I'm just going to color it. Now this is white and it's shiny, so it's not going to just soak in. If you were using like a Chinette that's real absorbent, I don't think this would work, but this has a coating on it. So I'm just going to put some of this color. This is the lavender, I believe. I just want to get some pigment on there. And then I'm going to wet it down with some water, just with a brush, and get this wet. And you can see how it's not completely bubbling up. And I want to get as little of this left in the brush And I'm going to go ahead and put my stamp in here. Now, if you try to brush it on, my experience is I end up getting it all in the creases and crevices. And I'm just going to random, and it's very light, but that's okay. I'm going to put some more pigment on. And the fact that this is wet, but I'm putting pigment on, it's fine. It doesn't harm the gelatos a bit. And just get some more pigment on there. And a little more water. And do it again. And I'm just moving it around to get different parts of the stamp. And there. And I'm just going to add some water this time. This is going to be waterier. That's okay. I want a variety of looks, a variety of colors. And I'm going to put one over here, upside down, doesn't matter. And I'm holding it on there just for a second to help it absorb. And then I'm going to do it again. So this one's a little washier looking, but that is totally fine. Do it here. Fine. I'm going to do one more. And there. Okay, I'm not taking the stamp away. I am drying it with a paper towel. I'm just going to set it aside. Now I'm going to take, now this is bigger than my stamping block, but that's okay. And it doesn't have that stickiness. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue stick on my block. And it's very washable. It'll come right up and off when I want that. And I realize I'm not going to get a full stamp, but that's okay. And I'm going to grab the orange. Now this is wet, so I don't want my paper towel to go right on top. But I'm trying to keep it so that you can see it. Stop, everyone, stop. And if the orange mixes in with the pink a little bit on my paper plate, I really don't care. I want to get a good amount of this orange on here. And then some water. Good. And I think I'm going to give it just a little more water. That just felt a little bit thickish. Okay. Now this may just come out blobby, and I really don't care. But I'm just going to put this in here and then put it on. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Yes. And I like that it's picking up the pink even though I'm not even trying. And I'm going on top of the flowers. It's all right. That looks great. I'm going to turn it around. Put some here. That looks great. I want one more. I want some right there. And maybe I'll go this way. Okay, that looks great to me. Really does. All right, I'm gonna wipe this stamp off. And I think I want maybe a littler stamp. Let's see. How about this? This is like a little fleur-de-lis. I'm going to stick that on the stamp block. And we use the yellow and the orange. No, we use the orange and that violet, lavender. Okay. So I think yellow will be fine. I don't think it'll be exactly the same. So I'm getting some yellow on there. Again, getting in here with some water. I hope you can see. And I'm grabbing my stamp. And I'm just going to give it one light here. And I'm on top of a brush. Can you believe it? Okay. That's fine. Can you see? I'm sorry if that wasn't there, but I'm going to do another one. I'm just putting the stamp into that yellow. Holding it for a second so it can absorb into the paper. That looks great. Just going back into the yellow. And I am doing all of these in the same direction. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's what I want to do. And I'm going to put one right here. Okay. I think that looks great. What do you think? Maybe one more? Okay. I'm going to just add a little bit of water. This is getting dry. I'm going to get my brush out of the water. It's a bad habit to leave your brush in the water. And I'm going to put this in the yellow. And I'm going to put one right here. Good. Very good. Yes. You know what? I have a habit when doing stuff like this of missing the edges in the corner. So I'm going to put one up here in this corner. There. All right. I think that looks fine. I'm going to wipe this guy off with a paper towel. I'm going to set my paper plate aside. Wipe this off. And that's good for now. Okay. So I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. It won't take long. And I'm going to talk to you while we do this. So a lot of times these projects, people will say, well, I can't doodle. I can't draw. Okay? I can't do watercolor. I can't paint a flower. I can't even paint a fantasy flower. Okay? You'll get better at it if you practice. And, you know, when you're looking at paper like I'm using right now, you can practice, and if you don't like it, don't worry about it. This is another reason for doing an art journal. Practice in your art journal. Just make some random marks on one of your pages and doodle on top. And you'll find that it'll just start to come natural, but it just takes practice. Now you can see that my paper is warping up a little bit, and one of the ways that you can combat that is by just heating up the back. So I'm going to heat up the back and see if that helps it to want to straighten out a little bit. But I believe this is dry, and that did help a bit. Okay, so that's what this is about. I'm trying to show you an alternate way if you feel like you can't do watercolor or paint flowers or draw doodles, that we can do this. All right, so now I'm going to add some flowers using the ink. So here's my ink, and you may not be able to see it as I go. And instead of using this black, this is a dark brown and this is a gray. And I think I'm going to go with the gray. So I'm going to grab one of the flowers, and I'm looking for here's my acrylic block. And I'm going to go, and I didn't use this flower yet. I'm going to go into the Hickory Smoke, which is a gray color. And again, I'm going random. And I'm going to go here since I'm tending to not get the edges. And look at that. So if you've got some rubber stamps, utilize those. And I'm not paying attention to where this is going to end up being folded. I'm just making a background. Nothing real specific. Okay, now I'm just wiping that stamp off. I'm going to use this, and what I did was I stamped that just on a piece of plain printer paper, and I'm going to get a little piece of washi tape, and I'm going to roll it around so that it's sticky on all sides. Put it here, It kind of came apart, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put it on top. And I want to kind of match it up. And then I can add one of these flowers. One of which flowers? One of these flowers. Put that on the block. And I'm going to go ahead, and it's not going to match up perfect at all. But I'm going to put it on top of where I put a pink one. And lift, and that's fine. That's great. He's not going to get covered up or, need to be covered up anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and take this little mask off, and I'm going to add another one of these, but this time I'm not going to go where there was pink. Or I could try it. I could do it right here. Let's see. It's kind of like this. There. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Let's give it another one. But only one more. And let's see, how did this one go? I think it's like this. And there. Okay, I'm stopping with those. But I'm going to do the same thing with this, another mask. And I'm going to just curl this in a circle. It's sticking more to my fingers than it wants to stick to each other, but that's okay. And I'm going to match it up. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, I did not use this flower for the watercolor part or the gelato part, but I'm going to use it now. And this time I'm going into Vintage Photo, which is a brown, kind of a sepia color. And I'm going to give that a stamp right here. And then when I pick this up, see? Isn't that pretty? Okay, and I'm going to, I think, do one more. Where? I don't know, it's looking kind of nice. Maybe I'll put it here on this is a pink one. Maybe you can't even see it. And then give it another Vintage Photo and just have it here. And then pick it up. I think that looks just fine. Okay, good. So I think now we are done with the floral rubber stamps and with these masks and things. So I'm just gonna, I'm never having an overabundance of room. I'm not gonna get rid of them completely. I'm just setting them aside for right now. Okay. So now I'm gonna rub the ink off of this stamp and set it aside. Okay, so now I think it's a good time to get our, well, we don't need to yet. Let's not jump the gun, Julie. Okay, so let's look at some ephemera. And I want to use some of the smaller ephemera, not too big. And some flowers and a star would be nice. And a orange heart, and maybe another star. That's kind of big. I want these to be smaller. Here's another flower that I made. Yep, I'm liking this. A heart can go right here. And I got a little star. And let's see, just a little bit more. This is a pretty heart, but it's too big. I want little. Even this I think is too big, yep. Find the little ones, Julie. Maybe that one right there. A little something right there. I've got these little guys. That looks cute. Maybe I can find, I'm digging in this. Maybe I can find another one. Oh, here's a leaf. Put the leaf over here. I think that looks good. And I was just seeing if I had like another really small one. You know, when you're looking for small, you get a lot of big, and when you're looking for big, you get a lot of small. There we go. Okay, and I have a video on how I made this ephemera, so you can look for that on my channel. But what do you think? I think that's looking really nice. Now, I forgot my glue book. That's okay. I'll just grab, I've got this leftover paper, and we can use that. And I'm just going to, hopefully you can see this, and I'm going to grab my glue stick. This is the brand new one. I always grab it first. Let's get the used one. There we go. Okay. So let's start putting some of these down. So it's a hot one here in Western Michigan. It's in the 90s. But I was going to say it's sunny, but it's really not. It's overcast, but the sun still comes through. And we've got some clouds rolling in now. It's the early afternoon. And we've got some clouds rolling in, and they started up again like they did yesterday with the storm, just a watch. But they're saying that this evening we may have some chance for severe weather, and, well, we'll just keep our eye to the sky, huh? That's all we can do. We cannot control the weather, at least not yet. I don't know that we ever will, but it's not for me to say. How we doing? I think we're getting along just fine. This glue stick that I'm using is a Scotch permanent glue stick. And I know a lot of people are hesitant with glue sticks, and I understand why, but if you get a good one, they're fine. So what's the weather like by you? Are you getting enough rain this year? Or maybe you're on the other side of the equator and you're getting ready for some snowy weather or some frosty weather. Just gonna fold this so I have another clear space. I may not be setting these down exactly where I had them to begin with, but it really doesn't matter. It's just to get a feel. I think this is a cute background. One more. Now, it's just like me to think I'm done, and then when I go to pick it up, I've got everything blowing and falling, and just never know. Okay, I think everything looks down. Yep. Okay, I'm going to set this aside because I still may want it. All right, I am going to do the scoring. So I'm going to turn it around, and I want 7 inches because this is 14. So I don't have a scoring table, but if you have one of these trimmers, that works good. So I'm just setting it on the 7, and then I take a bone folder and I just go gentle in that groove and I score it. Now I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to look for, I guess it doesn't matter which way. I'm going to look for 3.5. And so there's the 3, and I believe there is 1/4 right there. Just give it a score. Ooh, I went off the mark. That's okay. That's okay. And now again, 3.5. 3.5. Give it a score. Okay. Now I know a little better where these are going to fold. So I don't know if you can see it. Maybe what I'll do is give them a bit of a fold. And let's see. I want this one to go this way, this one to go this way, and this one to go this way, but I'm not hitting it with the bone folder yet. So now you can see maybe better. And so now I want to decorate these with maybe some words, or maybe a dark stamp or something like that to kind of give a bit of a focal point. Now I think this one's busy enough. So let's just start looking in these words and see what we can find. Find your joy. That's kind of fun. I'm just going to pull out a handful of these. This is too big. I think that's too big, but we'll see. We can always go back through them. This says, I love you always. That would make it pretty specific. Brother, again, very specific. Memories, no. Together, no. Remember this, no. Sister, no. Family. I don't know. Dad. Well, Father's Day's coming up, but no. Sister, no. Oh, these are awfully specific. Together forever. Best of friends. Fave. Okay, none of those did anything for me. Not really. Let's look at some more. And that's why I do so much magazine harvesting. Dig the Good Life. I like it. It would have to go, it's too big. Out of the box. No. Stuff you should know. No. Lighten up. No. Dear Grumpy. No. Could be fun, but not for this time. This says besties. Make a splash. I like that. Let's cut this out. And I do harvest these, making them bigger than they need to be, so that as they get crumpled or whatever, as I store them, then I can cut that part off. All right, there we go. Make a splash. We got that. Listen and learn. No. Imagine. Yeah, I like that. Cutting this guy off. And I'm sorry, it's not that I didn't try to prepare, but I didn't know exactly what I would want to be preparing for. Because until I saw the design that I do, I wasn't sure where I wanted to go with it. And I think this could go like right in the middle, for the middle of this. And this could go here. And this says love. No. Find your joy. Too small, but I like it. Create your moments. I kind of like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to cut the words apart. If you don't like fussy cutting, and I understand, it might be your scissors. When I hear, oh, I can't fussy cut, it's so hard, I can't stand it. Sometimes I wonder, are you using the scissors that you used yesterday to cut up the chicken? Or are you using the scissors that you went through a sticky old glue stick page and then cut through it? When you do that kind of thing, it makes your scissors less effective, and it makes things like fussy cutting a lot harder. So I like this create your moments over here just fine. Good. Imagine. I like that. Make a splash. I like that. And maybe there's just one more. Anything goes. I like that. I think that's perfect. Just giving it a trim. Okay. Anything goes. All right, let's get this out of our way. So how do you like this tag way, and how would you use them? Do you do junk journaling, or you could tuck it in a pocket in your art journal, or it could be part of a greeting card or the tag for a gift. There's just so many applications, but I'm liking this just fine. All right, let's get that paper that I had for gluing. And let's glue these words down. And do you see how this one got kind of, this way, that way? I like that. Now, is this the new one? Yes. 50-50 chance, huh? There we go. All right. I'm going to start with the Imagine one. And get it on there. If you made this larger, which you absolutely could, it could be your greeting card all on its own, couldn't it? Wouldn't that be nice? Get a smoother. Good. Okay, and let's get these create your moments. I think having them kind of tippy-toddly makes them look, kind of fun. One more. Over here. Okay. I'm using the Scotch permanent glue stick. Create your moments. Okay. And now we've got make a splash. Kind of encouragement, right? This would make a nice rack. Random act of kindness. Just pop this into an envelope. Send it off to someone who needs just a little encouragement. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't you like it if you opened your mailbox and found something like this? I would. Absolutely, I would. I'm going to put the anything goes over here. Okay. Now, I need the lid. I want these guys to stand out a bit. So I could use some of the colors that we've already used, which I think I will. So I've got those 3 gelatos, and I think I'll start out with that, but then I still may need to go a little bit darker. So I'm just going to take my gelato and open it up. I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller brush than I was using first, and I'm just going to wet my brush and rub it on the pigment, and then lay some right on this Imagine. Just like that. Yep. And this sort of makes it more a part of what you're creating instead of just looking smack dab glued on top. Do you know what I mean? It makes it feel more like it belongs to the page. I added just a little bit of water. It almost feels too wet. Okay. I like that. And it's a generous border, and that's okay. There. Now the gelatos underneath may move when I do this, and that's okay. But the dark inks, these are permanent. They're not going anywhere. All right. So you can see I'm not drawing. I'm not doing critical watercoloring. I am just kind of coloring. You know, I just laid a blob of pigment on a paper plate, and then I went and dabbed my rubber stamps or clear stamps or whatever you have on top. And then I used my rubber stamps with the darker ink for a stronger statement. You can do that, right? I know you can. And then magazine words. And you can get these from old books. You can get them from advertising has a lot of good stuff. Because, you know, those guys are paid a lot of money to come up with catchy little phrases that people remember. So don't just discard advertisement, and they can come on a variety of different papers, and they can just be great. Okay, and I'm going to use the yellow for this one. So I'm just doing the same thing, wet my brush and going into this yellow. And I'm going to go around this. I may just go right on top of anything goes, just like this. Yep. I hope you can see. And then the Make a Splash one, I'm going to go around like a frame. And I'm going to turn it so that it's just a little handier for me. And if you've had those gelatos sitting around, get them out. Maybe you have some other kind of a watercolor crayon. Any kind of a watercolor crayon would work. I think watercolor pencils would be a little bit more difficult. I never say never, but I think with a crayon, it'll just be a little easier. The other thing is, these crayons have some wax in them. And so that makes them willing to stick more. So they'll stick on top of that magazine instead of just wanting to bubble off. So that's another reason why when you're doing it on your stamp, it stays on the stamp where you put it instead of bubbling off and beading off. Okay. All right, I am liking this. So I'm going to touch these. How dry are we? Pretty doggone dry. I am going to grab a Sharpie. And I'm going to, don't know if this one works good. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm going to turn this. I'm going to go around the Imagine, but not in a real, like, deliberate way. Obviously, you can see the gelato is getting in it. And may have killed it for now. That's okay. It'll come back. I'll clean it. Let's try this one. Yeah, I think that the Sharpies aren't crazy about the gelatos, but that's okay. And I'm just going to kind of a scribble around. All right. I'm going to grab another Sharpie and go around. Anything goes. This one's working good. That's why I always have several. And I'm just scribbling around. Yeah, this one works great. Good. I think I'm going to go over this one again. Might be something about the pink because it's quitting again. Okay. And then this one, I don't think I'm going to go around each word. I think I'm going to make it like a unit. So like this. I'm going to include the heart. Yeah. Do it again. And one more time. There. Now, what do you think of this? I think this would be a great card. It's not done. Needs more. It needs a frame or frames. So I'm grabbing one of my cosmetic sponges. I'm going to grab 2. These are getting old. You know, you pay $1 for them and you get so many. Now they're $1.25. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these sponges. I'm going to go into the vintage photo. And I'm going to grab that piece of white. And first I think I'll try, before I get all carried away, just going around the edge this way. Well, I didn't go in vintage photo. I went into black soot. It's totally fine. Yeah, this is plenty. I don't need that other yet. But I'm just going all the way around and give it a nice framing. And look, you've got the whole back side of this that you could write someone a nice little letter, words of encouragement, maybe your favorite scripture, just whatever suits you. Could go right on here. Now, I'm gonna go on these edges. Yep, I am. I want to be sure I'm getting it on both sides. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip the middle one for right now. And I can see I've got just a little something sticking up there. That's all right. I'll fix it. But first, let's get the inking. Can you see anything? Okay. Now, my fingers, I don't want to get black. Oh, I already have. That's all right. I don't want to get so much black all over. Any more black. Oh, Julie. Yes, yes, look at this. That's all right. Don't think about it. I just want to get it so that I'm not rubbing it onto my card any more than I have. Okay, so now for the Imagine one in the middle, I'm going to fold it the wrong way. And I'm not going to go over the word imagine. So I'm just going up to it and then on the other side of it. But I'm not going over that imagine. And I think we're going to like this better. Let's see. Let's clear this off. And we're going to set our card up. Now, do you see that little space? I'm going to see if I can tack it down with my glue stick. And if the glue stick doesn't want to help it, I've got some art glitter glue. But hopefully the glue stick will take care of it. It looks like it. And I want to, oh, look. Oh. Put it in the comments. Julie, you're a mess. I'll know why you said it. I will absolutely know why. Okay. Well, can I get any messier? I'm still wiping off my hands. What do you think? And see on the back? Look. And yeah, there's some little smudges and stuff. That's okay. This is homemade. If you want some kind of mass reproduced thing that came from another country, go for it. I want homemade. I will take this over anything made in mass production. You know what I mean. I know there are artists that have things that they have prints of. That's not what I'm talking about. But for this, I love it. And see, you can stand it up like this, and it can be an encouragement in your home. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you consider hitting the like and subscribe. It does help me ever so much. I'm going to give this a sign. And this pen may need to go in the trash. Let's give it a sign. Oh, well, this one maybe? Oh, okay. Yeah. That one's my friend. All right. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.